Interesting. And now we're underway. So Maestre, again in the blue trunks. Michael Fox, 6'3.5" in the gray trunks. Maestre's fourth professional fight. Highly decorated amateur. But he comes in now having not fought in the Olympics. He had a choice to fight in Tokyo. He did not. He wanted to take this fight. He thought he was fighting Cody Crowley, who's 5'10", by the way, out of Canada. Good fighter, undefeated. But Crowley tested positive for COVID. They went to get an alternate, and the alternate was pretty good in Michael Fox. So Lennox, they didn't do him any favors getting him this 22-2, 6'3.5" replacement.
No, they didn't. I mean, Michael Fox really learned from his last fight. He said he should have kept the fight from distance, and as you can see, he's starting off the fight, and he's moving well, and he's keeping his opponent at distance, Maestre, and this is what he's supposed to do. He's supposed to do this from the beginning rounds.
Fox said that he had seen a lot of tape of Maestre, and he said, I think he fights flat-footed, and that will, enable me to maintain my range, which Joe Goosen, again, a guy 6'3.5", 147. If he can maintain his range, what are you going to do?
Well, you look, I mean, this is what Michael Fox wants to do. This is what he should have done when he fought in his last fight, when he lost to Santa Maria. But, in all fairness, Maestre is 5'10.5". I mean, he's approaching 5'11". He's a very tall 47-pounder.
Yeah.
So
normally, right?
Yeah. I mean, normally, again, they're 5'8", 5'9". He's 5'10.5". So he's lanky, and I got to tell you, he's a very patient fighter. He's putting on a little bit more pressure than on the tapes that we saw, and he's a good puncher. He's a very dangerous guy, even though he's had 3 fights. The key is how long can Michael Fox keep him at a distance at bay by boxing and moving and then catching him coming in.
But you can see Maestre is patient, Joe. You're right. Just a very composed, poised fighter. Very experienced through the amateurs, but he's 34 years old now, so it's time to make some hay in the professional ranks. Lands a right hand to the body, and he's got Fox in the corner. That's a bad place for Michael Fox to be.
That's true, and also what Michael Fox does, which I don't like, is bends down a little bit too low for his height.
Yeah, he does do that, but I also notice, and we've watched films together, is that he will make you miss that right hand by slipping down to his left real hard. So you got a choice sometimes. You get under that punch, do you lean back, or do you step around it? And he will slip down to his left side a lot and make you miss with that right hand. Then the question is, what does he do next? Does he counter with it? Will he take advantage of that slip? And that's what we've yet to see right now against Maestre.
Fox able to land a lead left hand. Now a right hand lands from Maestre. Maestre moves his head well. Additionally, he's able to slip those jabs from Fox on the way in, so he's able to move in. And he closes the gap in the final seconds of round number 1.
I always say, allow the young kids a chance to get to the Olympics. Now you're basically getting a professional to come back.
Big shot from Michael Fox, and Maestre down on the canvas for the first time as a pro.
That was that counter left hand on the slip. And it was a beautiful shot by Michael Fox.
Maestre goes down in round number 2, and that was a gorgeous left hand by the long, tall Michael Fox, and again cuffs him with that left hand again.
Well, even though he's got him hurt, you want to be careful. You got a big, strong guy in front of you. He's wounded right now, and he's desperate, so you got to be careful. And Michael Fox, I like his patience right here. Maybe go to the body a little bit. He's going to be protecting his head, Maestre. And look, he came out with a nice hook, so he is still dangerous.
I'll tell you, Fox only has 5 knockouts of his 22 wins, so he's not a big puncher. That has got to feel very good after what was, a rugged first round against an obviously, an older guy, experienced, even if it's only his 4th pro fight, and then he's able to just pick him apart with one clean shot.
Yeah, and Maestre just landed a good right hand against Fox, so look at that body shot. So he's recovered right now, and he's on the hunt. He's going after Fox again, even though he just got dropped. That tells you
Maestre, a lot of experience. Again, you know, we've gotten used to that. You know, Vasily Lomachenko on, where you can have a handful of pro fights, but if you've got 300, 400 amateur fights, you've been through it. And you've built that experience just at a different level. There is an adjustment, clearly, and you're fighting grown men. But Maestre, you can see already the composure, able to come back after getting dropped with that one hand. Fox now has to really just defend this 10-8 round really in the final minute. Keep on his toes, use that stick with a better jab. It'd be very difficult to get in. Nice combination from Fox. Maestre getting in, but Maestre able to go to the body and looking to hurt Fox.
Exactly. So Fox landed up to the top, and Maestre took it and then went back downstairs when he had Fox. But Fox is really slippery for a tall guy. He gets under punches really well. I mean, that's not an easy thing to do.
And you know, it's concerning because when you see a tall guy like that duck under punches, you're always thinking that maybe he's going to get caught with a punch.
Break, don't punch.
And that's maybe a dangerous spot to be in.
That's if Maestre catches on and starts anticipating that duck, right?
Yeah.
Well, you could lead a guy into that.
Final 20 seconds of the second round. You can see Maestre is fighting like the older fighter. He is calm, composed, digging in shots to the body. But Michael Fox with a knockdown in round number 2, able to build a points advantage, and now he digs in. Fox has to spin off the ropes. We're going to keep it here between rounds, and we'll look at that knockdown one more time.
And now it looks a lot better.
Yeah, he hurt his left hand, you know, in the last few months, late November, had a metacarpal fracture, said it was around his wrist. And I'm just amazed, too. We start round number 3. Michael Fox in the gray trunks, 6'3½", and Gabriel Maestre, two-time Olympian for Venezuela, only 3-0. He's in the blue trunks. He got knocked down by that short. I think it was Stanionis who's in our main event, Amantas Stanionis, who was wearing the Bruce Lee shirt in the fighter meetings. Is that true? Do you guys remember that? And now Fox just threw a 5-inch punch, like Master Bruce, and just tried. I'm staggered by Lennox. How about, I mean, it just was right off his shoulder, just turned it. Maestre had no chance to even see it or react.
No, like I said, he was throwing a punch at the same time, so he was focused on his punch, not focused on defense at that time.
I just think Michael J. Fox, his footwork is exceptional tonight. He's making these half steps to his left, like right there. He'll make a little quick half jab step, anticipating a right hand from Maestre, looking to counter it, and that's what he did in the knockdown, just like he just did right there. It's a classic southpaw move, and then he switched up and went to the right uppercut. So he's got Maestre thinking and not sure of what to do right now.
Right.
He's got him chasing him around the ring, and Fox is looking great.
Yeah, Fox is looking great with his movement. I'm actually shocked at his movement because it's very slippery right now. It's hard to contain.
Able to use that right uppercut as well. Joe, did you call him Michael J. Fox?
Yes, he did.
His nickname? Were you watching Back to the Future last night, Joe?
Listen.
It's okay. Good body work there by Maestre, but now good head movement by Fox.
If I did, it was a compliment.
I know, look, you should take it as a compliment. And I like that you called one of them Spence earlier, because I'm looking forward to that fight, too.
Right, I'm glad you're pointing all these things out. In the meantime, Michael Fox, without the J, is really having his way right now. And look, I think, what a great liver shot. Just had a left uppercut to Maestre. So, but Maestre, I got to tell you, he still looks dangerous. He looks like he's on the hunt, but he's having a hard time figuring out Fox.
Maestre is a strong fighter, Joe. I know what you're saying. He's strong, he's composed, but with Fox, to Lennox's point, when Fox is up on his toes moving around, well, you're going to be waving at air. He's not going to be there to be hit.
And the good thing is, even though you get him cornered and you throw a punch, he's throwing a punch back. He's answering the punches.
Final 20 seconds, round number 3. Again, Michael Fox showing a lot more movement in this round. He had a knockdown in round number 2. Gabriel Maestre fighting Michael Fox as a last-minute replacement and literally facing a tall order here in Minneapolis. We've gone through 3 interesting rounds here in Minneapolis. fellas.
And you see a left to the liver by Michael Fox. Good shot, long shot.
And remember, from a southpaw, that's their strong hand laying on the liver. Usually when it's a right-hander, it's not their strong hand. It's a weaker hand. So that is a very, very sharp, hard punch right to that liver. And Maestre took it pretty darn good because that was a clean shot. Look at that. Great turn by Fox.
You see the power punches landed the last 2 rounds in favor of Michael Fox. Again, he is again an extraordinarily tall welterweight, as Joe Goosen pointed out. Maestre at 5'10", that's a tall welterweight, but 6'3" and a half, that's Michael Fox. And he is able now to stay and land some power shots and make his presence known and kind of back up the sturdier Maestre. Again, a long-time amateur but very experienced fighter. He's been dropped once already in the fight on a gorgeous left hand. And there was another one. He kind of snaked that short right hand out there, just missed. Maestre digs to the body.
And this is what Maestre has to do. He has to get Michael Fox against the ropes and just do his work when he gets in there.
You know, Maestre, again, we keep mentioning he was a 2-time Olympian for Venezuela. He lost both times in the quarterfinals, but both times he lost to the eventual gold medalist. And as an amateur, he did beat Brian Castaño, who is the fighter that was just in that disputed draw with Jermell Charlo, the undisputed junior middleweight title. A lot of people thought Castaño won that fight.
Well, for a guy,
I'm sorry, Brian, go ahead. No, just he's fought a high level of competition consistently in the last few years.
Exactly, and if you look at Maestre, I mean, he's got a very professional style for just 3 fights. Okay, it's even though he's a 2-time Olympian, he doesn't have an quote-unquote amateur style. He's got a pressure style, patient style, a slipping, bobbing, weaving, and looking to land some big shots. But he's definitely got a pro style.
Good jab there by Fox. No, you're right, Joe. We just walked into the arena, we didn't know who that was, and we were watching this guy. Yeah. Looks like a guy with 30, 40 pro fights,
exactly. Right? Absolutely. You put it even better than I could have.
Round number 4 here, 45 seconds to go. Michael Fox moving very nicely. Again, in the fight that we saw against Lucas Santamaria, it was an excellent fight. The judges didn't have it close. We thought it was very close, but Fox did not fight his fight. I know, Lennox, during the fight, you were saying he's not fighting his best fight.
No, he wasn't fighting his best fight. He was allowing his opponents to come in on him and making him look bad because, you know, he was bending down low and boxing in close when he should have kept it at distance.
Yeah, he's got great bounce tonight on his feet. I mean, you just key in on his feet right now and movement.
Stop, don't punch.
I mean, it's really very rhythmic and very balanced.
And he's counter
punching well as well.
Yeah, well, exactly. His hands are working in coordination with his feet very well.
Marcos did an excellent job doing the unofficial scoring for us, giving us an indication that Lucas Santamaria could get the win over Devin Alexander, and he did in our opening fight. Michael Fox fought an excellent fight against Santamaria his last time out. He's back in the ring, and again, Gabriel Maestre, only his 4th pro fight, but a rugged former amateur. And Marcos Villegas, let's go back to you. How do you have it through 4?
Through 4 rounds, Brian, I got a 39-36. Michael Fox in the lead, you know, with the extra point, with the knockdown in round number 2. I was just thinking that last round, even though I have Michael winning it, Maestre did a lot of good body work in that round. So I was thinking if maybe the judges, one of them could maybe give him the nod for the effectiveness of those damaging punches that he landed to the body. But I think it's pretty clear at this point Fox is winning the fight.
Yeah, Fox has gotten on his toes, Marcos. Thank you very much. And as we pointed out in the last round or 2, just the way he's moving, you know, Lennox, it reminds me of Anthony Joshua in the rematch with Andy Ruiz, right? You can say, hey, stick and move, don't stand in front of this guy and trade, but to be able to do it for 12 rounds, that's real work.
It's good work. I mean, he's in great shape. Plus, he's using his God-given gifts, his height and his reach and his movement. I mean, these are the things he's supposed to use in the ring, especially when you have them.
Stop!
I agree 1,000% with that. And Maestre just pulled up about 20 seconds ago and was frustrated, stopped and stalled out in the middle of the ring like, would you stand still and let me hit you? You know?
Right, fight like a man. Throw me a fastball, enough with this curveball stuff.
Right. Now when Michael Fox was bent over there in that little clinch, Maestre came over and hit him behind the back in the kidney. It was a legit kidney punch and illegal. So, he's getting a little frustrated if he's doing that.
And yet, Joe, right, what he just threw there in the last 15 seconds, those were dangerous body shots. As you said, you mentioned illegal, but even legally, if Fox slows down or stands in front of Maestre, it will not go well for him. At least I'm getting that feeling.
Yeah, and Fox, to his credit, when he's moving, what he needs to do when Maestro comes in is throw that counter punch. As soon as Maestro throws a punch, because he's taking him a lot of work to get in there, and then he has to mount an attack. But while he's mounting an attack, that's where Fox needs to counter punch.
That's a hard body shot, right hand from Maestre to the body and right to the gut of Michael Fox. I think the best thing for Fox was that knockdown. It at least gives Maestre something to think about. Like he's got to respect that at this point.
I think they both respect each other because Fox, the way he's moving, understands that this guy can crack and he feels it. But he's moving real well. I'm really amazed at how well Michael Fox is dodging punches, slipping punches, and weaving punches. Really, it's just like that. He's been brilliant at it.
Able to get underneath that one in the final seconds here.
And a beautiful hook on his way out there.
Last round, Joe, as we open up here, we get to the next round. We'll go round number 6. In that, you saw Maestre, you mentioned Maestre got frustrated, like, I got to mount an attack. But by the end of that round, he was finding him. So really, it's going to be a test of his will to continue to attack.
And conditioning, because Maestre has never been past 4 rounds. This is set for a 12-round fight. We're halfway there. And right there, Maestre jumped in with the left hook. It was blocked, and then Fox countered with the left uppercut. This has been a real, chess match here between the two guys, and I just think Fox has been getting the better of it for 90% of this fight. But Maestre certainly looks dangerous to me right now. And see, there's another great move by Fox, but he looks very determined to try to get to Fox, but that's easier said than done right now.
I'm with you, Joe. That's what I'm saying. We don't know who that was. A low shot from Maestre. At least it was to my eyes. Yeah, keep him up. Indeed. Just jumped in there. That's why Maestre is composed. He's a man 34 years old, even though he only has 3 pro fights. And he has not gotten frustrated or overly frustrated, even with a knockdown earlier in this fight.
And Maestre knows what he needs to do. He knows he needs to get to Fox's body, and that's what he's doing. But throwing hooks from the outside is kind of dangerous because he needs to get a little bit closer to throw those hooks because he could get caught by Fox's long arms.
And I like Fox's attitude too. Again, he's the replacement here. And he said, hey, I know I'm training as an alternate. He said, basically, I'm in camp training for 6 guys, and I don't even know if I'll have a fight. Good combination work there by Maestre. Fox getting out of danger. And he said, you just have to train to fight the best. And when I get the call, I'm sorry that anybody would get COVID. But if I get the call and I'm ready to go, I've got to say yes. So this is not an easy fight for him coming off a loss and off an injured hand. But he was ready to be tested, and this is a very good test for him.
And that's old school right there. So his people, his corner, they have faith in him. Obviously, he stays in the gym. He stays in shape. Took this on short notice. Jumped in with a guy, like you said, a 2-time Olympian coming off a loss. That's really an aggressive guy. And this guy looks dangerous, just as his stance and the pressure he's putting on. But Fox, I think, taking this on quick, short notice is just incredibly sharp tonight.
Absolutely. It's just that now he's in round 6. He's going to have to do it for 12. You're going to have to stay away from this man. As Maestre there digs in with the right hand to the body. And again, maybe I'm overreacting, but that long, skinny body. Right. To see him take shots to that, to the side, to the gut, down low, it's painful to watch.
Well, a few seconds ago, Maestre jumped in and ran into a right hook. There's a nice little side step from Fox to his left and countered again with a left hand, right uppercut.
Take that fight. I'm 40 years old, why not? And here, round number 7. Again, Michael Fox, Gabriel Maestre. Maestre in the blue trunks, Fox in the silver. Fox has a knockdown in the second round. He has stayed on his toes and able to use that big height advantage and able to move his head from the dangerous Maestre. See Maestre take a breath for a moment. Again, there are moments of frustration. He's back in and tries to jab his way in. Good, just kind of prodding shots from Fox to keep Maestre honest.
Yeah, Fox tapped him with 2 little short left hands and then bailed out. Went on the move again, blocked a couple punches right there. Made a sidestep and countered with the left hand and spun out again.
Wow.
Yes.
Gets out of danger.
Yes.
And Joe, do you like that? You just, hey, sometimes you say, just touch a guy. Just touch him.
Yeah, of course, because, you know, it's knuckles touching you, and it doesn't feel good. And look, Maestre's getting puffy on the left eye right there, so, and he just took another little short left hand before, like that one, before Fox bailed out. So he's touching. Look, Maestre turned southpaw right there. That's a sign of frustration when you start switching up your style. The right side didn't work, so I'm going to try the left for a second. It didn't last long, but I just think Fox has got him baffled and bewildered right now.
Yeah, sometimes you can give up too much ground, and you know Michael Fox is giving up a lot of ground right now. And what he should do is just take a couple steps back, stop, and then go forward with his punches.
He is giving up ground, but he landed a left uppercut, right hook, as he was giving up ground right there, just right before he started talking. I mean, if he wasn't touching him and putting his hands on him and then making a nice sidestep and countering hard, I just think he's putting his hands on him a lot.
Halfway through round number 7, you saw the punches landed in the compy box round by round, which just looked all over the place. It's funny, you get used to a rhythm even in the punches landed in the work rate, and it was back and forth. The total landed, Fox has an advantage, and Fox with a knockdown certainly gaining some distance in this fight. But Maestre, again, it's a long night. It is 12 full rounds, so a man can start winning rounds, win round by round, and overcome 1-10-8 round. I don't know if he's doing that. Again, the more Fox touches Maestre in a scoring zone, just like that, just touching him, a judge is just logging all those in. That's a scoring shot.
That's it. Now, Maestre landed a good left hook to the body, but that was after he got touched with about 6, 7, 8 shots.
Yeah, nice short jab. It's almost, you know, it's the irony of that is he's fighting an amateur style, Joe, against the amateur star.
Yeah, right. But it's see, against a guy like Maestre, who's big, strong, keeps coming, takes a good shot, it's not a bad strategy at all.
Yeah.
And in fact, it's highly recommended.
Stop, be careful, I got it.
Final 10 seconds. 7 rounds. Again, long way to go. Maestre not giving up. Excitement just to be in Iowa and playing in the middle of a farmland. It should be exciting.
As you were saying that, and I was looking, I go, awesome. I was just saying, that's going to be awesome, you know?
Joe, I know you saw Back to the Future recently. Have you seen Field of Dreams recently?
Well, I will
Keep
tell
your
you,
head up.
Pride,
Keep your head up.
listen, I've had a lot of dreams lately, and I've got one that I'm going to share with you later.
We get into round number 8 here. Again, Michael Fox and Gabriel Maestre, and Maestre shakes it off, says no. But Fox, again, with that one knockdown, and able to keep Maestre at bay. Can Maestre summon the will to move in and close the gap on Fox? We're going to go to a double box here, and we're going to take a look at this jab from Fox as he is able to score from the outside. Oh, that's a nice left hand.
Yeah. It was a straight left hand. Maestre was throwing out a jab, and he's got about a 7-inch short reach compared to Fox. And, you know, Fox's straight left hand just reached him easily.
Look at Fox weaving under that, throwing uppercuts. So there's something new from the arsenal. Wow.
For a guy that tall, now let me just tell you something. Against Santa Maria, when things got dicey on the inside, Fox actually went to the body really well and close, and I know that Santa Maria felt those body shots, so he does have a good body shot.
You see that this is not a jabbing contest, as you can see.
Yeah.
This is not. We're going to see now Imantas Ioannis, who will throw about 20 jabs around per round, throwing. Now he might not land. He'll land 10 or 11, but these guys are landing 1, 3. So it is mostly power shots. And you would think, Lennox Lewis, that Michael Fox, you'd want to see more jabs since he is the much taller fighter that's in the ring.
Oh, absolutely. He said he's been working on his right jab because his left hand was hurting him, or actually got broke. And obviously when you do things like that, you got to overuse the other hand, which is his right hand. So that's why we're seeing a lot more jabs from him.
Lennox, it was exciting to see Fox do that weaving. So, like, we haven't seen that for 7 rounds, and suddenly some brand new moves out of Michael Fox.
Yeah, I mean, he better move, because if he doesn't move, he's going to get hit. So he swayed out of the punches. And see, right there, you know, he's getting hit to the body, but he's swaying out of the way and moving off of the ropes, which is the smartest thing to do. So he's boxing a very intelligent fight.
In all fairness, Michael Fox, and I think we talked about it earlier, has been making those slick moves off the ropes this whole fight. I think it's becoming more and more apparent because the punches from Maestre are getting lighter, and it's more obvious. But I got to tell you, I've been complimenting him all night about his slickness off the ropes and otherwise.
Yeah, no question, Joe. No, he's looked very good, and he's really put out the game plan. Got a knockdown early, and from there he's been on his toes, boxing beautifully. Mentioned he is a Pan Am Games champion, a man who has won the World Championships as well, 2-time Olympian. He's lost only to gold medalists in his 2 Olympic chances, turned down a chance to go back to Tokyo and make it for a 3rd time representing Venezuela, mainly to take this fight against, he thought, Cody Crowley. Crowley tested positive for COVID. Instead, he takes on Michael Fox, and Fox, again, is a difficult man to fight, and he looks terrific tonight. Fox in the gray trunks, Maestre in the blue, and Fox has that knockdown Joe Goosen in the 2nd round.
And if I might say, it's a beautiful right uppercut from Fox. You know, Mark Nelson's done a great job refereeing tonight. He stayed out of the action. He gets in there when he needs to like that, breaks him. But outstanding job. I like to point that out when referees do a good job. Now, secondly, you know, we were talking about the lack of jabs coming from Fox. It's because he lands the lead left hand at will. He's landing that lead left hand anytime he wants. He's actually, I think he's got Maestre thinking that he's going to be throwing the jab. He's working it there, but he'll touch that left hand all night long as a lead shot.
That was a stick. That was, and as we're saying, Joe, he lands 2 nice jabs, I mean, straight up the middle and hard, not just touching them that time,
right? But
hard, stiff jabs. Let's go to Marcos Villegas and get how he's scoring it so far. Marcos, how do you have it?
So far through these rounds, Brian, I got it 79-72. You know, this is a really a matchup where the height and the reach of Fox is really scoring and making him win a lot of these rounds. You know, you got Maestre trying to come in, and when he comes in, he's missing, and then he's getting hit with these jabs, which are really scoring the rounds for him.
Marcos, and it brings up a point, too. As you see, Marcos has almost every round except for the 1st round going to Michael Fox. You can think, if you're judging, that a fight is competitive, that a fight is good, and you can still have it 12-0. That's possible. It's a legitimate, Joe, I know it's a legitimate card. It's like, I had a 12-zip. Oh, but he barely won. True, he barely won every single round. It can happen.
Yeah, Michael Fox's corner must have said something to him about his jab, because he's just picked up his jab rate in this round.
Ooh, good left hand off that jab.
And Fox is able to outland Maestre, dictate the pace and the range, and then land the harder shots. Maestre landed a shot, but then he eats one as well and backs up.
I think that jab's coming easier because he's slowed down Maestre now, and he's got him out there where he's not bum rushing him as much.
Oh, yeah. He's popping. He doubled up on the jab, popped him twice in a row, and we have not been seeing that in the earlier rounds.
You see how he stalled out in the middle of the ring here, Maestre, and he's kind of backing up a little bit. Now he's perfect to receive that jab.
Yeah, but what I'm saying, Fox needed to do that when he's coming in as well, just to stop him, to slow him down a little bit, especially when he's moving around. The man's coming forward. Yeah. So fast, you got to stop him with a power punch.
Final seconds here.
The crazy thing is, did you see that stat on Sugar Ray Robinson? 173 wins.
He was. At one point, I think he was 126-1. So had 3 division champions. Was 99-0 as an amateur, by the way. But anyway, that always pops up when Floyd Mayweather say I'm the greatest of all time. Well, hold on, Floyd. I hope Floyd's watching and we're all good now. Round 10, Gabriel Maestre and Michael Fox in a pretty good fight here. And Fox with a knockdown. Yeah, and you know what, Joe, I loved what you said there. It's it's a good phrase. Maestre stalled out. It is. It's kind of like a car that suddenly slips gear and goes, ugh, just for a second and stalls out. And that's when Fox can make some hay and pick up some points.
Yeah, and that intense pressure has stopped, okay?
Yeah.
And again, he's never been past 4 rounds before. We're in the 10th round of a 12-round fight. And even on the inside, when Fox and Maestre were just held each other on the inside, Fox was working a little body shot, and Maestre was just happy to hold on, to tell you the truth.
Maestre there with a hook, but he looks a little slower, Lennox, in this round. Comes out a lot slower.
Yeah, he does. He needs to pick up the pace a little bit. But Michael Fox is teeing off right now because he's using his long arms. This is what he's supposed to do. Use his long arms, use his advantages, and keep Maestre at a distance.
Look, it took a lot of work for Michael Fox to put himself in this position because Maestre absolutely wanted to cut him in half for about the first 7 or 8 rounds.
Yep.
And now he has him a little tired, a little discouraged, and he's a slower opponent in front of him, and Fox looks like he's taking control.
Absolutely, and the best that Maestre can really muster are some really good body shots here and there. And Michael Fox has not really been there to be cracked to the chin all night. I mean, that's like a hell of an accomplishment.
And that was a good jab right there off Maestre, able to bounce it right off his head. Early on in the fight, he did not have those head-snapping jabs, and he's had a bunch here in the last 2 rounds.
That's why he's been able to land the 1-2 now. See, earlier in the fight, because Maestre was coming so hard, he had to be very selective of which hand he put out there, and he chose to kind of, dink him with that left hand 2-3 times, then slip out left or right. But right now, he's got him stalling out, backing up, and he's able to land the 1-2, which he wasn't able to do earlier.
Wide shots there from Maestre with the right hand and left, much wider. And we were talking about the lack of jabs in this fight, but Michael Fox landing 12 jabs in the 9th round alone. He had only landed 28 the whole fight previous.
Yeah.
So 12 in the 9th round. It was a very different fight. And you see a Michael Fox now in command, boxing beautifully. Final seconds, Michael Fox looks terrific. So, and I'm not even, Joe, I'm not even counting all the wars that he's been through.
Insane numbers, and a trainer could only dream to have a ride like that with a fighter,
Stop.
No question. That's 2 weeks from tonight. Here, round number 11. Gabriel Maestre in the blue trunks. Michael Fox tapping gloves there in the silver trunks. And Michael Fox, an early knockdown in round number 2, and then has been able to establish himself here in the later rounds against a slowed down Maestre.
Maestre's got to go for broke right now. It looks like his corner told him, look, you're way behind. You need a knockout. We're in the 11th round. You got 2 rounds left. But just to go back real quick to the Pacquiao thing, you mentioned David Diaz. That was the last, and thanks to Mark Ortega, our intrepid stat man, that was the last southpaw Pacquiao ever fought. That was in June of 08, 13 years ago, David Diaz.
Right.
Thank you, Mark, for that bit of trivia. I think it's a nice little bit because it's been a long time since either he or Spencer fought a southpaw.
Joe, you gotta say that Pacquiao right now is a living legend.
Yeah. Did you see that? Stats
oh, absolutely. Incredible.
You're a living legend, Lennox, and I got to tell you, and you've got great stats, but, I mean, have you ever seen anything like that?
No, he basically moved up every weight class.
Yeah.
For me.
That's what I mentioned about the only other Bob fellas is that we just mentioned of Henry Armstrong, who's a 3-division champion simultaneously. And that's history. Pacquiao is the only man to even approach that sort of, accomplishment. Good hook there by Maestre, moving in and trying to trap Fox to the corner. That's his only chance.
Look, Fox could lose these 2 rounds, in my opinion, and still win the fight handily right now. But he's not going to lose. I doubt if he's going to lose these rounds. But you know, Maestre is really, his back is against the wall right now. He needs a knockout.
Well, again, Lennox, you know this. This is a test of Maestre's mettle. Right, things are not going his way, and yet he's got 2 more rounds. He's got to work.
Right, he's got to work, and he's working. But you know, throwing heavy punches from long distance is a mistake against the sharper Fox right now.
Good point. Good point. You see it right there, moving in, able to just touch him with that right hand, but then they re-engage, and every time they re-engage, it's the advantage to the 6'4" welterweight.
Yeah, it took Maestre 3 straight punches to land the 3rd one. And you know, he got a piece of Fox there, but you know, it's been too far and few between, to tell you the truth, all night for Maestre. He's just fallen short all night because Michael Fox's defense has just been spectacular.
And his movement is being spectacular, and you know, the fact that he's counter punching well.
1 more round to go. Gabriel Maestre. Punches in the 11th round, but he landed just 11. Michael Fox outlanding him 13-11, and he threw 63. So they were both very active, but something, Lennox, you mentioned in that round, as Maestre now comes out, he's a little more accurate, throwing the hard punches from the outside, and you see him getting countered right there by Fox again.
Hey, come on.
They get locked
Last
up.
round. Keep it clean, guys.
Why not? Keep it clean. A little frustration there by Fox, tired of being grappled with by Maestre.
No, he made a notice to the ref saying, "Hey, he's keeping his head down." Hopefully that the ref didn't listen to him.
Well, fortunately for Fox, it's allowed in the pros. Okay, you can put your head down unless you. What are you supposed to keep it there so the guy can hit it? Hell no. You know, you got to make your slips, your weaves, your blocks, your parries. I mean, it all comes into play.
Maestre here is running out of time. He's got to know he is way down. And again, Maestre was looking to face another fighter, Cody Crowley, tonight. Instead took Michael Fox. And again, it was almost like the last matchup. We saw Devin Alexander coming back, but wow, he's fighting Luke Santamaria. That's going to be tough. You had to know for Maestre, no matter what you thought of him in the amateurs, that fighting Michael Fox was not going to be an easy night.
And that's for sure. It's not been an easy night. And not for the lack of trying. Maestro's really been trying. He had, I'd say, maybe a couple rounds for 2-3 rounds, you know, 8th, 9th, 10th round, maybe he slowed down a little bit, but 11th, 12th, he's picked it up again. And he knows he's behind. His corner knows he's behind. He needs a knockout. But let me tell you, he's been a very threatening, dangerous guy all night. He just can't get a hold of Michael Fox.
He's absolutely very sturdy. You're right, but he has slowed down. To use your phrase, Joe, that you used earlier, he stalled a number of times. Yeah. Just frustrated. And now we see Michael Fox is boxing beautifully from the outside, able to jab, slip in those left hands. He's able to land a lead left hand through most of the night, and he's been able to assert himself. And again, that knockdown in the 2nd round was just a huge shot, getting him the 10-8 round, giving him some comfort, some distance, knowing he would get that on the judges' scorecards, but also establishing that he was a man with some power too.
Well, he did that early, right? And
that 2nd round, yeah.
And he's buzzed Maestre a few times during this fight, but Maestre has not returned the favor to Fox. He's never buzzed him or wobbled him at all.
Also,
again, just to
Fox,
go ahead, Lennox.
Fox has thrown some beautiful combinations, especially when Maestre stands still in the middle of the ring. He basically hits him with a 3-punch combination and moves.
Just want to point out Marcos Villegas has that scorecard up there. You see it wide in favor of Michael Fox every round after the 1st round. Good right hand there, and another right hand by Maestre. But he's in the final seconds now. He's going to need a real prayer to land. Michael Fox boxing beautifully, showed a lot of will and determination. Gabriel Maestre came in to win.
interim WBA World Welterweight title holder and still undefeated Gabriel El Capitan Maestre.
How is that possible? Now, I try not to get upset by these things, but how is that even? Joe Goose, and I'm stunned it was 114, 113, and I thought that has to be in favor of Fox. How could it even be that close?
Brian,
You gotta be kidding me.
Brian, let me tell you, it's a long, short story, okay?